Oh, hey guys. Today we're going to do a hard reset on an Asus Zenbook UM5500Q. And as you can see here, this is the model for this one. Customer was actually using it one time. He ended up putting it to sleep in sleep mode and it never woke back up, even though he actually held the power button for about 5 or 6 seconds. Tried different chargers because he actually had another laptop of the same model, so that didn't change anything and it just never came back up. So we're going to try to do a hard reset and see if it works. So first thing to do is place the screen side down on your table or wherever you're working at. And I actually have the side here, as you can see, the two hinge areas are on the left and the right side on the top end here. You can do it reverse side; it doesn't matter. But if you want to follow this tutorial so that you can follow it step by step, it's probably better off that you put the hinge on the top left and the top right side of the like you see in the pic here. And so first thing you want to do is if you follow my cursor carefully, you'll see that there's four screws at the bottom here. One, two, three, four. And then there's one long one in the middle. So the first four screws are short ones. So you do want to keep them in a separate area where you can remember where they all go. So remember the four in the front are short screws. This one here are long screws, which are exactly the same length as the four on top here at the top left, going to the top right hand side. And there's nothing hidden behind here, these two tabs at the bottom left and the bottom right, but there are two screws, sorry, one screw on each side under these tabs. So if you can carefully, I just use my fingernail just to pop them out because it has double-sided tape holding them together to the bottom panel. Or you can just use like a little, maybe a paring knife or a prying tool and just pop them out. But there is one screw on the top left-hand corner underneath this rubber tab or the rubber feet, and one on the right side on the rubber feet too. So just remember to remove those. And once you remove those, remember, right, the four screws on top, from top left to top right, and then the one in the middle here are all the same length screws. So you can put all those in one section, and then the four on the at the bottom left to the bottom right are all of the same length. Also, as if you look carefully, I kind of missed it because I couldn't see it, because I wasn't using my glasses. So if you look carefully here on the middle left, almost not center, but just to the middle left here, and then there's one on the middle right that's also the same short screws as the bottom left to the bottom right also. So keep these sixes together, and then keep these five long screws together. And then these ones here, like I said, I mentioned, there's one under the top left foot, and then the top right. Those are two black screws, so you can keep those together. So you'll know they all go together because the other ones are all silver screws. So going back to that, once you remove all of those screws, it's pretty simple. The prying part here, it's when I looked at a lot of the areas to pry, going back to here, I'll give you a reference here. I tried prying this top right hand corner. I tried the sides, the pop at the back end and stuff, and the only place I was able to get my thumbnail in the between the bottom bezel and the top case of the keyboard was actually right here at the top left hand corner. So I'll zoom in on the picture here. That's what I was able to do here. So once you're able to do that, if you have a pry tool, all you have to do is you can either run your fingernail across. I tried doing it here. I kind of cut my nails because normally I use my nails just to run it across. If you have long fingernails, you can simply just run them across from the top left here to the far right hand corner, and then just down at from the front end corner here to the back side. And the same thing is on the right side on the top right hand corner to the back side. But if you want to use a prying tool, which I did use because my fingernails were too short to do that, all you have to just do the same thing and just run it right across from left to right, and then from this top left to the back left. Same thing as to the back right. And then once you have that, it's pretty simple. And this was another picture I wanted to remind you for reference. Remember that there is a screw on the top left hand corner and on the top right that was sitting underneath of the rubber feet. So just remember to remove those. But once you remove those, it's pretty simple. Just you can just literally open up the bottom case here, and you don't have to worry about pulling any wires or anything because there's no wires attached to this bottom case. Because for your info, there are some models of Asus and other brands where some of the cables are actually attached from this bottom case that connects to your board, and the last thing you want to do is tear it apart. But with this model here, there's actually nothing that's actually attached to the bottom panel, so you can easily just remove it without any worries. And this is what it looks like here. So what we're going to do is, as for the hard reset, what we need to do is we need to disconnect the battery. That's the first phase. You got to disconnect the battery, hold the power button for 30 to 45 seconds afterwards, and then plug back in the battery, plug in your charger, and then power it up, and it should just work if that is the problem. And so I'm going to show you guys really carefully here, because this is probably the most important thing that you guys got to do very carefully with this, is literally disconnecting the uh, the plug, that actually gives power to that's plugged into into your motherboard from the battery. Because if you don't do it right, you will actually break the connector. So you really need to be careful with this. So I'm going to zoom in here. As you can see here, this is the I want to explain to you guys how it works. This tab here in the center, this metallic part here, this aluminum part here, this is what slides over your block connector from your battery. This is what keeps it in place so that it doesn't slide off or pop out. So what our whole purpose to do here is just literally push this tab upwards very gently. I used the pry tool. I tried my fingernail. It was kind of tough because my fingernails,